Okay.
Blog Talk Radio.
Another year has come and gone. Are you wondering what the future holds? Are you struggling with the decision about love, money, your career, your family? StarzPsychics.com, that's Starz with a Z, has the answers you desire. StarzPsychics.com is the best and brightest advisor site on the internet, staffed by top-rated, professional, fully tested, and certified advisors. This is the real deal. At StarzPsychics.com, you create your own personal account, and you pick your advisor by reading their extensive bios. Then you decide on a budget that you are comfortable with. Your pathway to a clearer and brighter future is just a few clicks away. No gimmicks, no bait and switch. StarzPsychics.com has daily blogs and lots of links to help you develop your own intuition. Log on now. That's StarzPsychics.com. Remember, Starz with a Z. And here's the best part. They're available 24/7. StarzPsychics.com. Remember, Starz with a Z. You must be 18 years or older. Your future awaits.
Hello, everybody. This is Natalie, also known as Starzcast. Everybody knows the name, and I say it every time because you never know who's going to call in or listen for the first time and say, who is this lady? But anyways, I have a repeat. I have the loveliest lady, her and we just have the best time. She writes for my blog, and she's just wonderful. But anyways, first of all, I'm going to tell you about Mystic Living Today is up. The new issue is up, and it's quite the issue. I had some people that I had to put in, their stuff later on and all that, but that's not a big deal for me. I can handle that. That's easy. What I want to talk to you about also is that Starz with a Z, Psychics.com, and that was Kim that did the commercial for me when I was on her radio station. It wasn't hers, but I was on the station, so she decided to do this, and she's really good at doing this. I could never do that, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think I could do a commercial. Although I want to tell everybody I'm going to be doing a voiceover for some slides that my granddaughter did, and everybody knows she goes to SCAD, so she created these slides for me about how I started Starz, because a lot of people will ask me, how did you get into this? Oh, it's something else. It was kind of dumped in my lap, really, but I took it and I ran with it. So we're going to be doing that. And then also I have specials going on, first-time clients. We have our Starz Tarot course. It's with audio. You can get just a PDF. I just posted that in the blog. I also have an ad going out on Facebook and Instagram about our special 5 minutes for $5, 10 for $10, and 25 for $25. That's for first-time clients only. And then, of course, there's better rates. Not better rates, but there are good rates that are more cost-effective for everybody, because I know it's a difficult time right now. So please take advantage of that. There's a newsletter on Starz Psychics you can sign up for, and each month I choose people from the contact list and give them 5 minutes for a reading. And sometimes 5 minutes is enough. Sometimes you just have one question and you say, okay, am I getting this job? Or is he going to propose? Or simple stuff like that. But then, of course, you can continue on. So do that. Go to StarzPsychics.com. We also have downloads there that you can access, and they're free. You can all kinds of things there that Starz Amber did for me. She does a lot of the content for me, and then I have another gal in Africa who does all my design work. And soon the Starz Tarot cards are going to be out. And also, at any time now, maybe within the next month, my trademark will be moved over to a registered. That's a big deal. It took over a year to get it, and it has to be approved. The examiner has to look at it and all this and that. But then that just means that it's well protected, and that's for my logo also, Starz Psychics, Your Future Awaits. So your future awaits with my next guest. She's going to talk to us about what's going on with her, and her name is Carmen Turner Schott. How are you, Carmen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Listen to her voice. I mean, her and I, we laugh. I mean, people are listening and thinking, God, these two know each other. Yes, we do know each other. We have such a good time. And we're going to talk about her latest book, which is called Phoenixes and Angels, Mastering the 8th and 12th Astrological House. That just came out on the is it the 1st, Carmen?
Yeah, 1st of July. It was the release weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I've been, marking it out there, did a little YouTube live with a few folks on the book and gave some free copies out. And Yeah, I'm excited
I already
about
have
it.
my copy. That's a given. Carmen says it all to me. But you know, I have to tell everybody, Carmen, she does do work on my blog. I mean, the first one she did is there. Maybe last week I think we posted something, and she promises I'm going to get more. And what I'm trying to do is promote her as well as allow Starz Psychics to be a content master. You know, Google looks for that. It's not just a Google ad. It's about what you provide on your site. And when you have authority, domain authority, that's what it's called, on something, like your blog and things like that, but it has to be a lot of words. And Carmen was so wonderful and sent me an article and had more than enough words to put in there, but that's what we always do. Anyways, okay, now let's start off with the book. How did you just decide you wanted to do the 8th and the 12th? I mean, why?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So my first interest in astrology when I was 16 was really when I found out that I had planets in the 8th and 12th houses. And back then, you know, back in the 90s, there was like one book out there about the 12th house, and it was like from the 80s, and it didn't really explain anything, right? And it was a lot of mysticism and like negativity about the 12th and 8th, and like taboo, like no one really wanted to talk about those two houses because it, you know, they're mystical, and I couldn't find a lot of information. So I just started researching those two houses for many years, and I started Facebook groups. I wrote a lot of articles about having planets in those houses because I do, and I started getting emails from people all over the world, which led me to start writing. You know, my last book, The Mysteries of the 12th House Fallen Angels. That book with John Hunt was also based on all my research. And then I thought, you know, I'm going to get a book about both of these houses because they're the two most important, in my opinion, houses in your chart, because they're all about transformation, healing, death, rebirth, psychic abilities, spiritual gifts, connection to God, and service to others, you know, all of these cool things, right? And so I thought I'm gonna write a book about both of them because there's just not a lot of books out there, right, about this. And I wanted to share real clients' experiences of through my research for the past 28 years. I've been doing charts, and I see these different patterns that always happen for people with certain placements in the 12th and 8th houses. And I collect stories, and I share some quotes in here from people that have lived through these experiences. And so that's kind of why I wanted to do it. I wanted to help people and get a book out there where astrologers and people that just want to learn a little bit and people that don't know anything at all can read this book and learn more about what these houses mean, and then they can use it to help counsel their clients, you know, if they're doing charts, things like that.
Exactly, and you can never, that's how I started, was an astrologer, but you can never have enough astrology books. That's the truth. You really can't. Now, you know, isn't the 8th house, that is the house of beginnings and endings, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 3 planets in the 8th house. I have nothing in the 12th. Nothing in the 12th.
What do you got in your 8th house?
I have part of fortune. I have Neptune and Jupiter.
Wow, I got Jupiter and part of fortune in my 8th too.
There you go. Okay,
so
mine's in Libra.
Twins there.
Lovely Libra.
Nice.
But the
mine's
ruler is
in
Scorpio.
Aries.
Yeah, the ruler. Yeah. Oh, no, the ruler is not Scorpio, is it? No, it's it's Virgo. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Okay, so what happens if your 12th house is empty? You look at what's ruling the house.
Yes, if a lot of people ask me, that's a good question. If the 12th house is empty, you want to look at what sign is on the 8th house cusp, and you also that'll kind of show the kind of energy and the people that, you know, you'll have deep attractions to and chemistry with. And you also want to look at your transit chart, because everybody, you know, has different transits that can hit those two houses. And those energies are going to affect you just like they would in a birth chart. And so it's good to know if you have anything transiting through the 8th and 12th, because it's going to bring up those issues, right, of those areas of life.
Right. Well, my 8th is ruled by Virgo, and my 12th is ruled by Capricorn. Now, I'm just kind of picking mine apart because I've got it in front of me here on my software. But you know, I have Jupiter and Neptune there. Part of fortune, I mean, you can explain some of this, Carmen, if you would. There are people that say, well, what is this part of fortune kind of thing? And mine is at 0 degrees. So
yeah,
it just kind of, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really even, know what that is. It's kind of like some of the asteroids. Sometimes people don't really talk about those, but the part of fortune is a good thing. It's like where you have good luck and blessings. So it's going to be positive. It's kind of like Jupiter. Jupiter expands things. It brings benefits, good luck, abundance, generosity. And so having Jupiter in the 8th house really helps me and you and protects us from some of the harsher 8th house energies, right? Some of the experiences that some 8th house people have, we're kind of protected from those, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
it does. And it's also, it's conjuncting my ruler of the 9th. I have 19 degrees in Libra, ruling the 9th, but I also have Jupiter 19 degrees in Libra sitting in the 8th, right? It's conjuncting it. So I guess that carries over to that house also?
Yeah, looking at the whole chart and how that interplays is important. But if you just look at the placement of the planets, like Jupiter in the 8th, a lot of times the person inherits some kind of property or money from somebody. So, because 8th house is about other people's resources. So sometimes when Jupiter's in the 8th, you benefit from other people, like a spouse or your parents. You may inherit something. You could also inherit a spiritual gift, a spiritual ability. It may not be a financial inheritance. It could be like, intuition or the gift of dreams.
Right, passed on from a relative, a mother, father, whatever. Well, but a lot of people, now don't you agree, it will inherit money from somebody or a property or something. So that's kind of standard. So how do you tear that apart? Like for me, so I'm 19 degrees Jupiter in love. I call it lovely Libra. I always have, because sometimes they sit on the fence too long, Libras. I know many are like that. Well, I don't know if I should do that. Well, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. But other people's money. I mean, the 8th house, when you have websites like I do, that's important to have it sitting there, really, to me. Born with it, and I have the sun in the 10th, the all-important sun in the 10th. Okay, so
that's a good placement.
Well, it is if you're that's your career. And everything above the horizon is what other people see. Correct, Carmen?
Yes, and that's where you shine, is in your career, and then you have good luck and good fortune with all 8th house issues. So Neptune in the 8th also makes you very connected to different levels of consciousness, dreams and feelings and intuitions, and makes you very spiritual abilities, right?
Right. Yeah. Although I think, like for me and maybe others who have the same placements, now, it can be different degrees and it can be in different signs, but I think my life took a turn. Whereas I'm just using my business ability. Maybe I'm using my intuition. Maybe it's really my guiding force, and I just don't know it. Because sometimes I'll sit outside, and I do that a lot, Carmen. And this is for other people who might have the same position. I sit outside, and I'm real still, and I wait to see what comes to me because, right now it's beautiful here in South Carolina, and so it's very, very hot. And I love it, and I see my cardinals. I get the same cardinals. Everybody says if you have a cardinal that comes, that's probably somebody that's passed on. Sometimes I have a pair of them. Sometimes I have 2 pair of them come flying around, which I like, But I get a lot of stuff when I'm outside, maybe because I don't have the influence of anything else. It's nature,
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Now, how does it affect you?
Well, my eighth house stuff. I have my moon and Jupiter and Chiron there in my part of fortune. So, I've lost a lot of loved ones, people close to me, right? And especially at a young age, I lost a friend of mine when we were 16 by an accidental shooting. And so that was my first experience with the eighth house. And when I started researching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. You know, I always kind of wondered what happens when I die, you know, just really thinking about things that most people don't think about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's eighth housers, you know, they're connected to being a soul and think about death and dying and what is the purpose of life, and I could die, you know, what would happen, and, you know, where do I go? You know, you kind of have those thoughts as a kid, right? And growing up, and nobody else
and it gets
ever
worse.
really tells
And I
you.
shouldn't say it gets worse, but it gets more so as you get older, because you start to see most of my friends are gone.
Wow.
That were my age growing up back home. I mean, they passed away, you know, a while ago. And so sometimes now, and I really don't know why, I feel very alone. I feel, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of people, not personally, but online. Most of it's online. I have my immediate family, but besides that, and one good friend, but most of the times I feel alone. So I'm always contemplating. I'm always, you know, you start to think how important your life is and value each day. And when you get older, it's even worse. I mean, I shouldn't say it's worse, but you think even more so about it. You really do.
Sure.
You know, now your 12th house is everything you keep hidden from everybody else. Isn't that correct? Yes.
Yeah. The 12th and 8th both rule secrets and hidden things, but the energy is a little different. Like with the 12th house, it's kind of illusion and fogginess, like you don't see clearly, and you just aren't aware of certain things, right, and secrets. And then the 8th house are secrets that you're aware of. You know, when you have planets in the 8th, you see through things and see the truth, even though people might be trying to hide it. But you're psychic and intuitive. You're like, oh, I know this is what's really going on, and you'll see it.
Right. Yeah.
Even though no one wants to talk about it, it's like the taboo stuff, right?
Correct.
And you sense it. Where the 12th house, you can be completely vulnerable and taken advantage of in a way. You can be, because it's Neptune. It's overly trusting, right? Kindness, compassion, spirituality, you know, trusting, you know, having rose-colored glasses kind of energy, that Pisces energy, you know, that rules the 12th, can make people feel like a victim sometimes when you have 12th house planets. Because you feel like people take advantage of your kindness, you know, when you have 12th house planets. And they don't see it as a strength. They think kindness is a weakness, right? And so that's why I call 12th housers angels. Because they often tell me they don't feel like they're from Earth. This is what they tell me.
Oh, yeah, that's what they call me, an Earth Angel. But the reason being is that because of what I've done all my life, and you probably have done the same thing, Carmen, there's a lot of us out there. I've saved people's lives. I'm always there. How can I help you? What can I do? Here, you can have this. But sometimes now, and it's probably in my chart somewhere, sometimes you get almost a little resentful because it seems like you're doing things for everyone else and what is being done for you. However, if you think about it, look at your life, look at your health. I always say I have good health. So I guess that's how it's coming back to me. So if you loan somebody some money or give them some money, it doesn't mean you're going to get money back. You're going to get something else back. It may not be money. That's right. It might be health. Yeah. It might be your spirituality. That's how I have to look at that. But still sometimes I must have a jealous part in my chart. I don't know where it is. Well, I have Venus and Scorpio in the 9th.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say, do you have any Scorpio?
Oh, yes, and Scorpio rules my 10th. So
there you go.
I'm really right there. But I think sometimes you just have to sit down and rethink and you know, just control those thoughts and say, but okay, look at what I have. You know, I mean, there's so many people, Carmen, that are suffering and, you know, have difficulties and, Yeah, I did when I was young. I almost died. Yeah, I had to take care of my husband with Alzheimer's. I kept him home, and he tried to kill me every day, and that is the truth. But I survived. Wow. Yep, and I stand tall with that. So when I look back, somebody will say, well, my God, how did you do that? I just did it. I just did it, but I had help you couldn't see. I know
You're resilient. You're resilient because you got, that's that 8th house. You're a phoenix. No matter, you rise from the ashes stronger, and you can like withstand a lot of things that most people wouldn't be able to go through. You're strong.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
exactly. But then you think to yourself, oh, geez, I don't want to be strong.
People are tired. Yeah, that's what 8th housers say. They're tired of having to be reborn and be strong. That's what they tell me. They don't like having to be always the strong one and the one in a crisis that's taking charge and helping everybody, you know, and having to do all this stuff. Because,
I know, but tell me something. Why are they called phoenixes and angels? Now, phoenixes is actually the 8th house, because and to me, a phoenix rises above from the ashes. Why is it called that? Is that true?
So Scorpio rules the 8th house. So the Scorpio energy is the death and rebirth and the transformation energy, and that's what the phoenix represents, is rebirth. So that's why I've always associated Scorpio people and 8th house people as phoenixes, because they go through these emotional and physical deaths, you know, and they wake up and they feel like they're completely changed. Their thoughts, their emotions, they want to give everything away. You know, they go through these, it's hard to even put into words what they go through, and it's like they died and are reborn. That's why I call them phoenixes, because they go through that all throughout their life, right? And the phoenix is very healing, because what it does is it's like an 8th house person. The 8th house is about repression, and it takes and takes, and it holds on to things, right? And it absorbs things. It absorbs people's pain. It's water, right? A water house. And so when it gets too heavy, then it has to go through a metamorphosis. So that's the rebirth energy of the 8th house. And to me, that's the phoenix. They die and they are reborn even stronger. What if I have Scorpio ruling the 10th, and my Venus is in Scorpio in the 9th. Now, does that affect me as well? Do you pick up that 8th house stuff from there? I mean, I'm just throwing things out at you. I mean, some of it I already know, but I'd like to hear your version. Yeah, like whenever you look at the 10th house, you're going to look at how is someone in their career? How are they at work? What kind of careers are they drawn to? So if Scorpio is your midheaven and it's on your 10th house, then you're going to be drawn to 8th house career fields, which is healing, psychology, using your psychic and spiritual abilities to help other people, owning your own business, being self-reliant, all those things you're doing. Sounds like me. That exactly. And so, like, for instance, you got Scorpio there. It makes you very Scorpion, 8th house kind of career field, which you're doing. In the metaphysical, yeah. And, the strength I have is my sun is in Sagittarius, 2 degrees, just 2 degrees. So, I was born in the morning, and later on, early evening, it went into Scorpio. And I feel sometimes, because I can be very inner, I can be like a Scorpio at times. I feel, some people say, oh, no, you don't pick that up. But I feel that I do. I feel. Yeah, you're on the cusp then, like a cusp. I am, really, basically, because a matter of hours, I would have been a Scorpio, 1 degree probably. Well, then you're going to 29 degrees, excuse me, I would have been 29. Yeah. You do feel, or 28, you will feel both the sun signs, energies. You're going to have personality traits of both if you're on a cusp. Yeah. If you're born on a date that's right before the sun goes into another sign, you're going to have personality traits of both, for sure. And some astrologers believe that you'll have more traits of the sign the sun is moving into, which would be Scorpio. So you may be more of like a Scorpio with a little Sag twinge. You know what I mean? Well, a little dusting of Sagittarius. I mean, I can be very private and very inner
but I don't have that. My sister-in-law was a Scorpio, like November 7th or the 8th, whatever her date was. I would always compare myself to her and think, thank God I'm not like her. She was so jealous of everything and everyone. And one day I finally told her, I said, you know, you spend so much time being envious of other people and wanting to cause harm to other people because they have something you don't, when you should be spending more time on yourself. She said, really? I said, absolutely. You should hear yourself. And that's what she would do. And I kept thinking, oh, thank God I'm not like that. No, not like that at all. If everything I give away the store, here, take it. You know, so I don't have that. I don't have that. But seems to me that the 8th and 12th are real tough houses. They seem to house a lot of depth, don't they? They're very deep houses, right?
Yeah, very deep. They're the most spiritual, mystical houses. So when people have planets there, they often are empaths. You know, empathic. They feel people's pain. They take on.
I hate,
people's
and I don't
emotions.
like it. I mean, you know, really don't. And I'm an animal activist, and it bothers me. Things really bother me, but they bother me more so now than when I was really young. I mean, I started doing astrology charts and readings for people, but I didn't really feel that because I think that I didn't really have a true understanding. And then as I got doing it more, and the more I evolved, I figured it out. And I have to be so careful because some things will just totally knock me for a loop. And I don't just cry, I sob. And that's what's difficult. Maybe that's coming from my 8th house, though, Carmen, because that's what I do. I don't just shed little tears. I sob. Natalie sobs. She doesn't cry. And, you know, I can remember,
that's
and I'll
Neptune.
stop myself. What?
Yeah.
Neptune?
That's your Neptune, yes, because Neptune
is 8 degrees, in Libra.
It's 12th house energy, and 12th house people and Pisces people are known to cry very easily and when they get upset, it comes pouring out because they are sensitive and kind and tender-hearted, you know, compassionate.
I know, but you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, Carmen, and neither would you. I would, you know, I see people that are just plain evil.
I know. People.
I mean, you wonder how they manage to be around. Period, because they're just nasty. I mean, they don't say. You can tell when you talk to people on the phone. Have a great day. Oh, you're so nice to me. You're so. And sometimes now I notice they'll say, "Well, you're nice to me, so I guess I have to be nice to you." I said, "No, you don't have to. That's your nature. That's how you want to be." And now that I'm more involved with people than even when I was young, because you know you're taking care of your child, and I worked in a nursing home, and I worked at a tennis club, 3 big ones. I managed a lot, but that was the material world, the tennis clubs. Now the nursing home was dear to my heart. But, you know, once my parents died, now they died less than 5 months apart, I had to leave. I couldn't stay there anymore. It was the owner said to me, "Why are you leaving?" And I did their hair, and because I was a hairdresser too. I said, "Well, I just feel that I've done what I can." And and I knew it was time for me because I probably would have ended up collapsing or felt physically ill or something. I had a sense it's time to go, and that's what I did, and I left there. But then I went off to these clubs and met all kinds of people and helped run the clubs with the head pro, and that was my best job of all. I loved it. Yeah. I was so happy. People person, you see, I'm a people person. Sun in the 10th. Yeah. I have to be out there. That's what I have to do. And so now you had Mysteries of the 8th House. You've done that one. The Sun Signs and Healing. Okay, you've done that one. Mm-hmm. Now I know I got a hunch. My Carmen, and you know you're my Carmen, is thinking about doing something else besides the Phoenixes and the Angels. Are you?
I am. I got another book coming out next year with John Hunt on the moon's nodes, the north node, south nodes of the moon in the chart.
Oh, that, yeah. Let's see, where is mine?
And I'm
mine is in the 6th house. My north is in the 6th. Is it nice? Why is it nice?
That's a good one. That's service. That's Virgo house. I got a lot of Virgo, so that's like everything that you say you're doing, like helping people. That's Virgo 6th house energy. Doing practical things for people, helping people when they need it. Animals, loving animals, and all of those things.
I feed my deer at night, and I have my mallard ducks that just probably had all their babies, and pretty soon I'll have, the one mother in the front, one mother in the back, and 10 little I call them fuzzers, in between a straight line. They'll all be coming, and I'll be feeding them. Now, I haven't seen them in 2 days, the mothers, because that's probably what's going on. But, I am in my glory when I'm doing that. And when I see my deer, I open the door, poke my head out. I do it at night because I want to make sure that they're safe. And I see them just waiting for me. Here she comes. Here she comes. I told you she's coming. And I talk to them. God.
That's so sweet.
I should have been on a farm. Yeah, I talk to them. And I love doing that, and their little ears tweak a little bit, and their tails. And I'll tell them, now you got to stay out of the roads because it's dangerous. Go back in the woods from where you came, right back over there. That's where I want you guys to go. And they're mostly females, although I do have some males that have, they've got antlers coming up already, believe it or not. It's not the rut season, but they do. I learned so much about them. Then I had a gator on the bank of it's not my lagoon, but on the bank of the lagoon. He must have been near 6 feet. And I watched him from the porch, and I was careful, but I watched for all the little kids. I went down to the neighbor, and I said, we've got a gator on the bank here. I said, and I know your kids like to come out and play. And he said, oh, my gosh, thank goodness you told me. And he said, what neighbor would do that? I said, this neighbor right here, you're looking at her, because I don't want anything to happen to them. And I said, you can't run from an alligator. And there's no way. It's going to get you somehow. So we were safe. Everybody was safe. But, that's the thing. I just love animals. And I guess that's where it comes from, right? For me, something in my chart, correct?
Yes. It's that 6th house because Virgo rules small animals. And the 6th house rules small animals because that's the house of Virgo. And the 12th house is known for large animals, right? Like giraffes and elephants and, horses are associated with the 12th. And then small animals like dogs and ducks and all that are associated with Virgo. They always say Virgos always do well when they have a pet because they just naturally connect with animals very easily. And that's your north node. Your soul mission is to be a 6th house person, which means that you've already been a 12th house person. Your south node is in the 12th house, so you've already been an angel, a fallen angel. Yeah. So you've already mastered 12th house energy. Now you're mastering Virgo energy. You know what I mean? 6th house.
Yeah.
So you know what it is? It's like in past lives, you've already done spiritual service and dedicated your life to that. And then this life, the 6th house is about practical service. So that's kind of what you're doing. You're still helping people, but it's in a slightly different way,
Yeah. I just, and it's the house of service to others. It's of service. And all my life, Carmen, I've been of service to others. This time. I've never escaped it. I've always taken care of. And that's, I'm still doing it. Like, my granddaughter, my son says, Mom, you worry so much about it. I said, I don't worry about her. I just want to know that she's okay. And, some people think that that's, I don't know, knowing too much. I don't think so. I mean, I just ask him.
I'm that way. Like you care.
I really do care. Yeah, I really do care. And some people think, oh, you just want to know too much. No, not if you know me. That's not it at all. So, I'm just, and my son, of course, I hear from him every day, but people have to understand when you're home alone and you don't have a spouse or a significant other and you only have, friends that you go out with here and there, that's what you do. And I take care of, and I am not going to stop. No way.
Exactly.
I can't. I don't know how. I don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is your son, Carmen? Your natal son?
My son's in the 12th house. Yes, with Venus.
Ooh.
And then I got the 8th house moon and Jupiter Chiron. Yeah, that's why I write these 8th and 12th house books, because I've been through a lot of things that, and now it all makes sense when I know about these special houses, right? And they're the water houses, and and in astrology, there's 3 water houses, the 12th, 8th, and 4th, and the 4th house is ruled by Cancer, and it's home and family, and it's intuitive and all these things, but it's different than the 8th and 12th. The 8th and 12th are very similar. They have a lot of similar things, and so when you have planets in these 2, I find that you have similar life experiences, and they're just very intense, and you have to go through a lot of heartache, it seems, and feeling lonely and going through hard life things that you have to be like a wounded healer and help other people. Because you have to go through these things, right? Yeah,
yes.
That's the 12th and 8th houses. Yeah, they're kind of, they're phoenixes and angels. They're also what I call wounded healers, that they attract people that have been through pain, and they're able to help them because they've also understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're healers. They're drawn to energy healing and psychology, social work, counseling, astrology. People with planets in the 12th and 8th are interested in all these things, right? All of these spiritual
things. How did
things.
you get into astrology?
Yeah, so that's such a funny story. So when I always felt different, which is that 12th house sun, and I always felt like, I'm not from Earth. Like, am I adopted?
I'm not from Earth.
What am I? I even asked my mom, did you adopt me? Because I was so different, everyone in my family. No one was like me. And I always loved angels, and I was obsessed with them. And I never knew where it came from because I wasn't raised to be that way, right? And I was so sensitive, and I would dream things really vividly. I was a sleepwalker, and I would dream things at night and wake my mother up, and they would bother me, and she just didn't know what to do. Go back to sleep, and that was how it was my whole life in my childhood. And then when I was 16, I had a experience that I could not explain. I woke up in the night, and there was a glowing ball of yellow light in my doorway about the size of a softball.
Well, remember what I told you about me? I had a crystal. It was a golden yellow, and I was deathly ill on the back of my wall. Isn't that odd?
Well, I think it was an angel or one of our spirit guides. You know what I mean? And,
this was really,
But at the time, because it was the unknown, and I was 16, I was terrified. I thought,
of course.
Oh my gosh, is it going to take me? Is it, what is it? And
is the ball going to pick me up?
Yeah, I couldn't scream. I couldn't yell. I had no voice. It's like it took my voice, and I couldn't move. I was just laying there. I couldn't do anything. I tried to yell for my mother, no sound would come out. So I only had control of my mind. That's it. And I kept saying, please don't have it come in my room. Please don't have it come in my room. And you know what? It never did. It just stayed in the door sill. And then it would take off and come right back in my door sill and float. And I lay there for
I didn't
hours.
have that. Mine was just hanging on that wall. Like, it was big. It was like 7 feet tall. It was huge.
Wow. It's probably
I can still see it in my head. I actually got up in the morning and I drew it because I didn't. But I never forgot it. Yeah, I don't think you forget things like that.
No.
Because you were awake, right? You woke up.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was.
And I did too.
And I finally. It's like it finally kind of released me after hours of laying there, it seemed like, and I was able to yell for my mother. And I said, look in my doorway. And I said, do you see it? Because our house is real small. She said, yes. And I said, what is it? I don't know. That's what she said back.
Oh, she saw it too. How wonderful.
Yes. I finally had a witness. So she...
Was she spiritual too? Did she have abilities or...
Well, she was skeptical of all that stuff, because she would tell me, it's just your imagination. It's just so she was a skeptic. but my mother is intuitive. You know, she's a Scorpio moon, and she's a Sag sun. You know, but she has some intuition, but it's different than how I was. She doesn't have any 12th house or 8th house, you know, but she is pretty kind of, you know, a Scorpio moon. Just kind of knows things and pretty perceptive, you know what I mean, at reading people's energy.
Yeah.
So she's kind of born with that Scorpio moon, but not spiritual in the sense like I am. But she said to me, I don't know, and then she tried to be rational, and say maybe it's a lightning bug. I said it's huge. It's not a maybe someone's shining a flashlight. Yeah, maybe someone shined a flashlight in your window. I'm like, no, it's not. It's
a ball, Mother. It's a ball.
She told me to go back to sleep. I know. She told me to
Nobody
go back to sleep.
Nobody saw what I saw. Not at all. I saw it all by myself, and it was massive healing for me. I knew that, but I also knew it meant something else. I had to see it. Because, you know, I think I told you before, I worked with this huge group of psychics and mediums, and, you know, I talked to them. One I did actually secretarial work for, and she said that was healing. I said, no, it wasn't just healing. You're wrong. I said, I had to see it. So I could know and remember. If I was asleep, how would I know what it was?
Exactly.
I mean, I knew. She said, well, and I said, well, you can well all you want. I didn't argue with her, but I told her, I said, I know what it was. I know what it was. And, so I want to mention your site before we forget. It's Carmen, CarmenTurnerSchott.com, and you've got so many things here. You can actually get your birth chart done. You have that there. I saw that earlier because I've been on the site many times because this is your third visit with me. You know, are we going for number 4?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's going. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's already 1:42. But I mean, it's just easy to talk to you. You know, it's just. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why. We're from. We're 2 peas in a pod, kind of like.
Yeah.
But you can get a free gift on her site. That is a personality profile and your birth chart wheel. If you go to that and do that, I mean, I have access to all of that kind of stuff. So, but it's really important to learn where the planets were when you were born. I do things like the lunar return and the solar return.
Yeah.
You know what that is. I know you do. Some astrologers don't bother with that. Some just do transits. I have never been interested in transits. I don't know why. When I started doing readings at home, and I could forecast like you can't imagine. And then the lady that taught me stuff, the 4th house away is the answer. So like if you have a question, am I going to move? That's your 4th house. That's number 1 house. Go 4 houses away. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to find out in the 7th house. That's going to be your answer. And it worked every single time.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, she was. Well, her name was Ivy Jacobson, very famous writer, and then another famous writer, Sophia Mason, that got me into the AFA, American Federation of Astrologers. You had to be sponsored then. I don't think you have to be sponsored now. I don't know, but she got me into that, and I guess I just got my feet wet. But you know what, Carmen? I looked beyond that. I had my own cards that I could read. And I applied that to astrology, the houses. I mean, you know, it's all intertwined, isn't it? Tarot, astrology, it's all intertwined. And really, most people can do what you can do, what I can do. I mean, it's not that tough. Tarot cards, you just read this. It's a story. The cards are going to tell you a story. They're going to tell you something. But you got to know how to read it right. I mean, that's, you know. But anyways, I love talking to you, and our time is just about up because I know you have someplace to go. And, I'm waiting for more articles from you, my love. And people are probably feeling the good energy between the two of us because it is there. You're just wonderful. Just wonderful. What can I say?
Thank you.
But,
you are
but
too.
they say it takes one to know one, so okay, I'm wonderful too. I'll take it. Right?
Yes. You're amazing.
Anyways, you have a good show that's coming up next for yourself, and you and I will be in touch, of course, and go to her site, Carmen Turner Schott. I'm going to spell it again, CarmenTurnerSchott.com. And as always, I end the show with the same thing. Believe in things you cannot see because they really are there. And with that, I'll say I love you, Carmen, and I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, too. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.